we are back for another episode. I'm here today. My name is Letitia Griffin, and I'm here to talk to you about any types of problems that you may be having with your finances, any types of questions you have regarding debt. That's what I'm here for. So feel free to give me a call at 312-738-1060 and just ask your questions. And if you do not get a chance to ask questions today, or you think of something later, or you're just really shy about being on the air, that's fine. You can contact Family Credit, and their number is 800-994-3328. So remember that number. I'll give it to you throughout the show as well. So if you don't catch it now, just let me know. And I'll be more than happy to give it to you again. But it's 800-994-3328. I want you to use Family Credit as a resource, and they've got a really great website that has a lot of information, especially when you're looking for help with finances. So you can Google them at Family Credit, or you can go to their website at familycredit.org. So there's a few different ways to get in contact with someone, but they are a great resource to have, especially if you've got questions about debt, finances, and your credit report, especially if you've got questions about your credit report. So a lot of people struggle with that, so I want to make sure that you know that there is help. And a lot of times you don't have to fall victim to those scams that are out there that are promising help with your credit, but you never really get it. And you pay money, and that's really not the way to go. But Family Credit can help you with that situation. Last week we talked a little bit about saving, budgeting, and we talked about how to really budget and save on your monthly expenses. And we focused a little bit on the auto insurance as well, because a lot of people are paying more than they should or more than they need to for auto insurance and for homeowners insurance. So you want to make sure that you're looking at your policies and that you're reviewing different ways for you to save each and every single month. And a great way to do that, take a look at that policy and go over those things that we talked about last week, such as asking for a list of discounts from your insurance provider. Of course, looking at bundling things, also looking at seeing what would happen if you were to change your deductible. So those were some of the things that we went over. A couple of things that we didn't mention I wanted to just throw out there is that some of the insurance companies, they have a data tracking now, and with the data tracking you can sign up for it, and they will probably give you a discount if you allow them to track how you drive. And a lot of times you can do that. They'll send you a little device that will go into your car. You can sync it to an app on your phone, and they just track your driving and how you do, and it gives you a great way to save money on that insurance. Another thing you want to look at, making sure that you see if what you have you actually need. See if the coverage that you have you actually need. Like if you've got an older vehicle, then you really don't need full coverage on that, because think about it, if something were to happen, they're really just going to pay the cost to replace the car. And if you've got an older vehicle, of course, you probably won't get that much, so you really don't need full coverage. So those are some things that you want to take a look at. Of course, remember, insurance companies do pull your credit report. Credit report is very important in so many different aspects in life, so you want to make sure you are always taking the time you need to review your credit report, going over your credit report, and understanding. Again, if you need some help with that, you can contact Family Credit at 800-994-3328, and the counselors are on standby. They are ready to answer your questions, and they can even help you get your credit report too. How cool is that? So just give them a call. Now, when we think about our credit, of course, we want to make sure that we know what's on it, especially because right now is what? Buying season. Everyone wants to buy a home, and this is the time to do it. So what you want to do is make sure you've looked at your credit report. I would recommend not waiting to the last minute, but knowing what's on it now. There's so many different tools that you can use where you can get an idea of what your credit report looks like. And so there are those tools out there that you probably don't have to pay anything or pay much for. But honestly, the best way for you to get your credit report is to go to annualcreditreport.com. Annual Credit Report is the best place for you to get your credit report. And you can get all three bureaus from one site. If you don't do that, you can go directly to the credit bureaus. And we bring that up because I had a consumer that asked me the other day, well, I get my credit report from my credit card companies. They send me my credit score. Is that accurate? Now, when you think about that, the credit the creditors, a lot of them will offer you your credit score nowadays. And also, that may or may not be accurate because your credit report and your credit score, they change all the time, right? So you also have to think about when your creditor is sending you out those monthly statements, how long it's going to take you to get them, and if that information is actually accurate on your statement. Now, think about it. The credit card companies, they do have relationships with the credit bureaus, but they're not the credit bureaus. So the information that you're getting will be considered a little bit outdated by the time you get it to. So you want to take what you see on your report with a grain of salt. And if it's accurate, or if you feel that it's accurate, always look at your credit report to make sure. And that's with annualcreditreport.com, or you can contact a counselor at Family Credit at 800-994-3328. Looks like we've got a caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
My current mortgage is at a very high payment and interest rate. How do I go about starting the process of refinancing?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question so we can hear it?
Yes, my current mortgage, it's at a very high payment and interest rate. How do I start the process of refinancing?
Okay. Well, a lot of people are actually struggling with that, and they don't even realize that their rates are considered kind of high too. But you always do want to look at what options are out there. So first thing that you want to do is, if you are looking to refinance, see what your current mortgage lender has available. Now, keep in mind, you've already got a relationship with them, or whatever lender you actually purchased your home through. You can contact them and see what they have available. You also want to make sure that you qualify as well. So that's something that you want to think about. If you want to refinance and you're looking at your rate, you want to see what other options are out there as well. So you can look at doing what's called a rate and term refinance, which is where they look at your current interest rate and see what available interest rate you can get now. There has to be some benefit for you to actually refi if you're just changing terms like that. So you want to think about, will this refinance make me have a lower payment? Is it just an interest rate? Will it make my time with this mortgage longer, or is there a way I can even make it shorter? Sometimes you can reduce the interest rate and get something like a 15 or a 20-year mortgage instead of a 30-year mortgage. Also, you may even want to look and see about adjustable rates, but you do need to talk to a lender, and you do need to get qualified to see if that is actually in your favor. Also, you may want to see if there's a process out that you can use called a streamline refinance as well. And with that refinance, it requires less information in order to complete that transaction. So again, there has to be some benefit there, so feel free to reach out, and you can contact the counselor actually and inquire about whether your credit is good enough for you to get a refinance as well, because that's something that you need to think about too. Not only do you have to have a current mortgage history to get a refinance, but you need to make sure that score is right, and we've been talking about the score all along, so you want to make sure that you keep up with your score, and we'll go into that in a few minutes. Also, have you filed your taxes, and have you claimed any mortgage interest as well? So those are a few things that you want to think about. You want to talk to a qualified lender and reach out to a credit counselor to get more information about your score and your possible debt load as well. Some people, when they do a refinance, they do it simply to pull out the equity in their home. You can refinance also if you're looking to pay off debt, but you have to think, do I really want to tie my credit cards into a mortgage loan? So here again, that's where a counselor can possibly even help you with that. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I just filed bankruptcy a year ago, and I was just looking for some advice how to rebuild my credit back up.
Okay. Bankruptcy, like I said, it's out there, it's there to help you, but it's not the end of the world, and it's up to you to actually make things better for yourself. So if you have filed bankruptcy, the first thing you want to do is think about what can you do to get on the road to recovery. You want to make positive steps towards your debt now. Everything is gone, or either you've got a repayment plan and you're working on clearing everything. You want to make sure you pay attention to all of the notices that you are getting in the mail now. If you're getting any new collection notices, jump on those right away. Make sure you set up payment arrangements or whatever is needed to keep them off of your credit report. And a lot of people will look at trying to see if they can get new debt after they file bankruptcy as well, because guess what? That's what's going to help you reestablish your score. So you do need to look at getting a credit card or some sort of loan that will be reporting to the credit bureau. and you want to make sure that it's positive and it works in your best interest. But sometimes after you file, you only can get those credit cards or those loans at very high interest rates. And keep in mind, you are seen as a risk because you did file, but it's not the end of the world. You can go out, you apply for whatever credit card you can get, and after time, making your full payments, making them on time each and every single month, possibly for a period of 6 months or more, you're going to start rebuilding your score. And things are going to look better for you, and you'll start receiving other offers. But you just want to make sure that you're making smart money choices now, because you've already filed. You don't want to end up in that situation again. And also another thing is, whatever you get, you want to make sure you can afford that payment. So think about that. If you go out there and you get an offer and they can give you a $5,000 loan, but they're giving it to you at a really, really high interest rate, and the payment is $500 a month, that's probably not something that you feel you could comfortably afford. Look at a credit card with a lower monthly payment, a lower chance of, you just want to be able to make sure that you're paying it, that you can afford to pay it off each and every single month. So you can look at those credit cards that are out there. There are some that are made for people that have, messed up, or that have less than stellar credit reports or credit score, or you might even have no score. But you want to look into that. There's something out there called a secured card too, which will most likely be the best option for you. You can visit websites such as bankrate.com, which will give you a comprehensive listing of all of the different types of credit cards that are out there. Another thing you can do, you can talk to your bank, your financial institution, about what type of credit rebuilding products they may have. And you can also contact a counselor, stay in contact with them, get advice, and you can reach a counselor at 800-994-3328. Looks like we've got another caller. Hey, welcome to the show.
Yeah, hey, how you doing today?
Good.
Good. I try to catch your show as much as possible when I can. Let me ask you a question, though. For people who say are on disability and they looking to probably file bankruptcy, are there any services in the state here or the city that offers free legal assistance?
Well, there are a few different options that you can contact and get free legal assistance. You may want to start off by dialing 311 to see if they can provide you any types of assistance there. And then you can do a search as well for bankruptcy attorneys. Now, any bankruptcy attorney that you contact should be able to give you what's called a free consultation. And you can also do a search for a free consultation, because with you being on, with your income, it's consistent, but it is disability or whatever it may be, then they should be able to help you with that situation. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I have a question. Would having multiple credit cards help increase my score, or is it better to just have one and pay it off every month?
That's a really good question. So it really depends on what your goals are and what you're looking to do. Now, if you can handle multiple credit cards and different types of loans or things like that, then your score will be strengthened as long as you're able to make your payments each and every single month and you can stay under the credit limit. But your credit really is determined on what your debt to income ratio ends up being and how much debt you're actually carrying as it relates to the credit limit. So if you've got a credit card and it's a $10,000 limit, but it's just one card, you know that you have that $10,000 limit, but maybe let's say you only use like $2,000 or less, then you're fine. Or you can handle multiple cards where you may have 6 or 7 cards that add up to that $10,000. But as long as you're using that limit the same way, you're fine. You just want to make sure that whatever you're doing, you stay away from the credit limits, because anytime you use your balances up to the credit limits, that's when you start looking desperate to the creditors, and that's when your score falls. So whatever way you decide, whatever works for you, then do that. Another thing you may want to think about is with multiple cards, though, are there multiple fees associated with them too? So that's something else you need to think about. So if you've got a credit card, say you've got a credit card and you fall behind and they charge you a late fee or over limit fee, Can you afford that? But if you got 4 or 5 different cards that fall behind, now you've got 4 late fees and 4 over limit fees. So those are things that you want to think about. Like, when things go bad, can you still handle it? And work from there. Keep your budget in mind and keep your credit report in mind so that you stay away from the credit limits, because you know what? You want to make sure that your score is positive and you want to keep it that way. And handling that debt responsibly is the way to go with doing that. So if you've got any other questions, feel free to give us a call here at the show. Also, please feel free to reach out to a counselor at 800-994-3328, because counselors are on standby to help with these same types of issues and questions that you're coming up with right now. And it's always great to have a resource to talk to that can really give you proper advice on the situation and not try and steer you one which way, but you need that advice that you can trust, and Family Credit can give that to you. So we've talked a little bit about how to keep your score in check. We talked a little bit about, we covered saving money on auto insurance like we talked about last week. So a few other things we want to make sure that we're keeping in mind: the importance of knowing what's on your credit report too. So someone asked about refinancing earlier, or even about which direction to take with bankruptcy. The proper thing that you want to do, though, is make sure that you know exactly what's on your credit report, what's reporting, and anytime you see something that you can question or you don't think is yours, it needs to be disputed, and you need to be the one initiating the disputes. There's a lot of people out there that say, hey, we do credit repair, we can help you with that, we can remove things off your credit report. And keep in mind that it may look good, they may tell you that, and a lot of times if it's really that easy, it's not the right road to go for you. So I had a client that I helped not too long ago, and I see a lot of people that fall into this same situation. And so what they did was they contacted a company that said that they could help her credit score. And they began to dispute everything on her credit report. She paid the money every single month, and for the first couple of months, she said life was great. She was getting letters from the credit bureau saying this is being disputed, this is going off her credit, blah, blah, blah. She's also getting letters from her creditors saying that they've received something from someone else. And what happened was, because she paid a company that only disputed everything on her credit report, she thought she was doing something to clear it, and it just ended up making things worse. Now keep in mind, while items are in dispute, they are not factored into your credit score. So yes, things are going to look great because those things aren't factored in, but the minute they come out of dispute, that's when your score will fall and it will plummet. So you do want to be careful with that. And you should avoid anything where people are talking about doing some types of credit repairs or things like that on your credit, because again, while those things are in dispute, they're not factored into your score. But you can only dispute an item that's wrong and have it updated on your credit report. So if you get an item, if they're disputing everything on your credit report, including everything that's already positive and reporting correctly, guess what you did now? You just put a black mark on your credit report that's going to stay there, because now that item says dispute when it really shouldn't. You should be having positive information reporting all the time, and you want it to report accurately to keep your score up. And that's the purpose of it. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, I have an account reporting on my credit report that I know I do not owe. What steps should I take to have it removed?
Okay, you say you had what type of debt on your credit report?
It's a collection account.
Okay. And this kind of goes along the lines of what we're talking about now, too. If you got something on your credit report that you feel is not yours, or you're not responsible for, and you should not be paying, you need to dispute it directly with the credit bureaus yourself. And the way that you can do that is by going to the credit bureau's websites directly. And each of them, they have a dispute center that you can log on to and dispute that item on your credit report. Now, you can go to Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian directly and get that item disputed. Now, again, while it's in dispute, it's not factored into your score. So once that dispute starts, the credit bureaus will send you a letter or a notice. You'll probably get an email if you did it online, and they will let you know that this item is being disputed. They've got 2 weeks to let you know that it's being disputed, and they've got 30 days to finish up that dispute. what will happen is they'll contact the creditor, ask them, hey, is this her debt or is this his debt? If it is, the creditor will come back and tell the credit bureaus, and then it will stay on your credit report unless you can prove it otherwise. If it's not, or they can't prove it, or the debt is too old, or it's been sold here and there, no one knows where it is, then what's going to happen is that item will be removed from your credit report, and then your credit report will be updated. Remember, I said that only wrong information can be disputed and removed from your credit report. And that's what will happen with the dispute process. So if the account is found to be yours, then of course it will stay. Then in that case, let's say it really is not your account, but they say that it is and that dispute will stand, then the next step will be for you to contact that creditor directly. The credit bureaus, they do have access to whoever was that gave them that information, so they can let you know how they received that information, the dispute information saying that it was your account, and you can go to that creditor directly and get that disputed, because guess what? All the creditors, they have departments that handle disputes as well. So that's a great thing for you to do, and you can do it on your own, or even better, you can contact a counselor at Family Credit and they can help walk you through that process too. Now remember, I said they can walk you through it. They're not going to do it for you, but they can show you how to do it. They can also help you with any other collections or problems that you may have as well. And if you want your credit report or you don't understand it, you want to go over it and not sure who can help you with that, they're there. They can do it for you. So you can contact a counselor at 800-994-3328. Now we'll be back next week where we'll talk some more about some other money saving tips and ideas, and also we'll touch on a few tips with your credit report as well. Until then, we'll see you next week. Take care.